So this week I started my new job. Unfortunately, at this job I'm working full-time and on the graveyard shift, so my hours are way different, my schedule is way busier, and my days are kind of bleeding together, considering I spend most of the daylight hours asleep. All this is to say I tried something different with this video, by recording the video and the audio at the same time. In hindsight, this was a way worse idea, because after editing, I found it didn't save me much time, my dialogue flows poorly, and speaking took my focus away from the paint job and from recording. Needless to say, I won't be trying this again, but I may try other videography techniques in the future to improve the look of my videos and reduce the time it takes to edit them. But for now, brew some coffee, get comfy, and enjoy the video. As you can see, once again I've begun with the zenithal highlight, because after trying it on that last model, I have absolutely fallen in love. So I'm deciding where to begin, and I think the best choice would be Blood Angel's Red. I want to get this on all the red armor panels while avoiding anything that isn't red, considering this is a very strong paint. Honestly, his skull helm is fairly difficult to work around. See, the scariest part for me is that I'm doing this for my roommate, and so he gets to see all the little painting techniques and cheats I might use. So the parts that I want to get are all of the main body of his armor panels, but I want to avoid the cloth because that's going to be cream colored, as is the skull. I don't actually have to be that careful around the bolter because I'm going to paint it a different color, i.e. black, or actually that's not a bolter, that's a melt pistol or an inferno pistol. I don't remember the exact terminology of what it is. He looks like he's out of Warhammer Plus's Angels of Death at the moment. I decided to try something new, and I'm going with Contrast Aggro's Doom on his main tunic. Now I'm coming in with Contrast Black Templar to get his cape. I'll pick out the gun at this moment too. I'm going to come back and touch up the entire gun later. It's better to start dark and work up on the gun, I think. See, this Helbrecht, even though it's got less detail than the Death Guard one, it's a little bit more of a pain to paint because of the two little dudes on it. Ryan, if you're watching this, please look away. Please. Putting a teensy bit of glue on this bad boy. And that's just mostly so I have something to hold him by while I paint him. Coming in with some Ushabti Bone. Ushabti Bone. Painting on the bone and the bone. If you're using a cream color on a Warhammer 40k miniature, there's a 95.6% chance it's a skull, because G-Dubs loves their skulls. And so do I. Retributor Armor. My favorite gold. My favorite gold is Goldest Gold, which has a blood stain on it for some reason. It's made by the same guy who made Pinkest Pink and the Blackest Black that's not Vanta Black. I'm trying to remember his name. I believe it's Stuart Seppel, Stuart something. And he really hates the guy who made the bean. The bean being the sculpture known as the Cloud Gate. And the artist, whose name is also, the artist of the Cloud Gate, whose name is also eluding me at the moment, but I believe it's Amash Kapoor, hates it when people call it the bean. So I make sure to refer to it as the bean as often as I get the chance, because that artist, Mr. Kapoor, is an asshole. Now, while I would like the Space Marine, the Blood Angel, to have a gold prosthetic, I feel like in the end that might be too much gold. And being too much gold would overwhelm the completely rational amount of gold we have put on it. I just noticed that his sword is chained to his mechanical AUG, so there's no way he can drop his sword without probably losing the arm. Progress is good, and I'm liking how it's coming out. I'm coming back with Lead Belcher to pick out all of the metallic bits. I'm thinking, I don't know if I should do these chains on the cloth at this moment, because I might dry brush the cloth, but I guess I've already made my decision. Picking out all the metal bits, no matter how small. And some of them are real small. I don't even know if it's going to show up all that well once it's painted, but I have hope. At this point in filming, I got 3 phone calls that I couldn't ignore back to back. It kind of killed what little mojo I had for double tasking, so I'll be dubbing the video in post from most of this point forward. I once, for a commission, painted up about 15, I want to say, custodian guards of the Solar Watch. And And if you're familiar with the Solar Watch color scheme, it's just white and gold. White armor with gold trims and embosses. Oh, I hated those models. They were so hard to paint, and also so very stressful, because one mistake could set you back like 4 or 5 minutes. And I make a lot of mistakes. I go over the metal prosthetic forearm with Blood Angel's red again, but this time due to the transparency of the contrast, it makes it look like glossy painted metal. Then I pick out the purity seals with voluptuous pink, and later I'll come back and follow up with Emperor's Children for the spot highlights. Now I begin work on the Servitors. I don't take too much time on them, and I just kind of speed through them using the same colors I had already picked out for the Space Marine. I'm not going to go into much detail about them. At this point the model still looked a little flat and I wanted to add some depth, but I wanted a stronger wash than Agrax Earthshade or Nuln Oil. This caused me to take a leap of faith and use Black Templar contrast paint as a wash. Now Black Templar is way too dark to use as a wash normally, but my plan was to add it to the model and then wipe it away with my finger. As my finger is too large to fit in the small recesses, this will leave a dark shadow appearance. I honestly couldn't believe how well it worked. It ended up adding way more depth to the model than I was expecting and turned out better than I imagined. I then get back to work on the Servitors and pick out the fleshy bits and the middle bits. Then I begin on the Rock of Command, and I'm painting it with the same Space Wolves blue that I painted my Helbrecht conversion with, to add a sense of uniformity between the two models. I think it gives the effect that they're on the same battlefield, meeting face to face. I try some OSL, or on-source lighting, coming off of the Servitor's shoulder lamp, but I end up not really liking it and getting rid of it during the post-filming cleanup. I'm truly pleased with how this model turned out, and it may be one of my best paint jobs yet. I'm happy, and I know my roommate can't wait to put him into action on the tabletop. And that's all for the video. You know how the song and dance goes. Like and subscribe if you like the video. If you'd like to see more. You know how the song and dance goes by now. Like and subscribe if you like the video. If you have any comments or questions, leave them in the comments section. Disliking does nothing, so tell me what you didn't like in the comments. I'm going to let this video render, and then I'm going to put it online, and then I'm going to go get some sleep. I hope you had a good week, and I will see you next week. Stay safe, and I will see you then.